If you're looking for a consistent goal line play that you can fashion out of any formation in this game, this video is for you. The only thing it requires is a bit of a mobile quarterback and maybe a little bit of practice, but otherwise I think this is the best way to finish off drives and settle for fewer field goals. It's essentially a sprint out concept, which I've already gone over a couple times in previous years, but I think it's even much better this year because you can do it out of any formation, and as far as I'm aware, there's really nothing that can guard the actual throw. So what we'll do is we'll get started with just a simple 3-4 odd cover 4 drop show 2. And again, it doesn't matter too much in terms of the formation, but I think this is a good one to get started with: gun, wing, slot, offset. Okay, so the basic premise of this is that all you really need, and this is why I'm saying you can do this really out of any formation, is just to put one of your receivers on an out route. So in this case, I'm putting the tight end here to the boundary on an out route, and I'm smart routing him to the goal line. And then it really doesn't matter what you do with everybody else, though there's a few thoughts that I'll kind of go into throughout the video. You can block this extra guy to give you a little bit of extra protection on the edge. Usually I don't block the running back because he can get in the way of things, so I'll just wheel him out, and then in some cases that wheel can actually be another option for you, or just to pull the zones further away from where you're actually throwing. But by and large, I just ignore him, just make sure he's not in the way. And then what you'll do is after the snap is that you'll just immediately sprint out to the direction of the out route. And then for whatever reason this year, I think it's just this year, no defenders, whether they're in zone or man, are going to guard that last kind of yard of the boundary, and you can just squeeze in the ball. So you can't possibly make that throw from the pocket, but if you sprint out, you're much more aligned with it. So again, if you have a mobile quarterback, this is much easier. So once you snap it, you'll sprint out, and you'll see that there's this little pocket right here to squeeze that into and throw it for a touchdown. So that was just stock cover 4 drop, as you see here, but I could also do hard flats. So hard flats, I'm just going to do the exact same thing for all of them. So I have the little out route from the tight end that's smart routed to the goal line, and then I have the wheel route, and I just escape right here, and I throw it to my tight end. Now, one of the main issues with this concept, really in terms of coverage, you never really need to worry about anything, but the one thing is that if you don't time it perfectly, if you do it a little bit late, they do have a tendency to not drag their feet. So in this case, I actually think he's able to get both feet in. But in some cases, like even if you're just spamming, possession catch, they'll still kind of run out of bounds. Or in some cases, your throw will be a little bit inaccurate, and the tight end has to, or whoever it is, has to come back to it, and they might catch it, a little bit before the goal line and run out of bounds before the end zone, and you'll get it at the 1 or at the inches mark. So those are the kind of things you have to worry about. But in terms of coverage, you don't really have to worry about anything. Contains are a little bit something that we'll have to worry about, but we'll get into that shortly. If they're doing cover 4 drop where the contains are coming from these, 3 tech, or not 3 techs, but these ends that are head up on the tackles, they're just too far inside, and you're able to, push them to the inside with a double team with your tight end. So that's usually easy to get around. And then the other thing is that since the user is usually these middle guys, they're never going to be able to get really into the play and get involved unless they're really keying on these things, and they really predict that if you hit with this 2 or 3 times already, they might start off a little bit wider to be able to undercount that. But by and large, because it's unexpected and because it's going away from them, the user will never really be involved in the play. Okay, and then the last adjustment in cover 4 drop, we'll also do protect the sticks. So protect the sticks will bring all the underneath zones to the goal line, but in this case that also doesn't matter because it's not really depth that we care about here, it's width. So they still won't be able to get to that last yard towards the boundary, and even if we're a little bit late, we can always squeeze that in there. Now this was a case that I threw it a little bit late, and I think he only got 1 foot in, so 1 foot, and then he just went ahead and stepped out of bounds. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but that's only going to happen a few times. If you run this the next play, chances are you're going to be able to get it inbounds. So you see what I'm saying, that really it's the coverage that we don't really care about. It's mostly what the tight end does in terms of when he's catching. I'm sure there's a better way of doing that in terms of low point pass or a forward pass lead or something like that, but I just haven't found that yet. Now we can go to man coverage as well. So right here, I'm doing the same play. I've just switched to man coverage, and we have Jalen Ramsey, probably the best guy to show this against. Same exact setup. escape the pocket right here, and he should give up a little bit late. We can throw that right in front of Jalen. Now, if you're running against contains here, then you come into a little bit of a trickier situation right here. So if you run this exact same thing, and even if I block the tight end here, you'll see the end is able to get outside, and if I try to get around him, it just makes things really, really difficult. So this is where you might start thinking about different formations. So this might not be the best, though it could be a good formation to run this against. So if they are, a serial container, and they're containing their outside guy here, and I want to run the exact same concept here, what you could do is just double team that end. Now, if you sprint out right away, he will still be able to get the outside leverage on you, that outside shoulder of the tackle, of the tight end. But if you wait a little bit of a second and let that double team engage, then you can kind of go outside, find that little yard, and get that touchdown, or that 1 yard away from the touchdown. So those were a few select formations, but now we could also do just any old random formation. So I'll just do random play here against a random defensive play. So right here, we're in this kind of stack look. This is probably a horrible one to actually run this out of, because you don't have any tight ends, and the timing is really, really difficult, but we could still try it out. So we'll run stack out here. We'll let this guy, actually we'll run the back guy on the out. We'll run this guy in. And what do we have here on the defense here? We have cover 3 match, which is essentially cover 3 against this. We will cancel the play action, and we will see if we can escape the pocket. And again, we have this little area here for that easy score. We have a gun bunch look here. I'll do max protect, put the outside guy on out. On defense, this is some sort of a 46 or 4-4 package. Engage 8 really probably isn't the best look right here, since they're really sending everybody here. And I'll take the play action off. Nobody's really going to be running engage 8, but let's see if we can get around here. We're able to, and we're able to find this little sweet spot right here for that easy score. Okay, right here we're in an I formation look. We will go against another single high defense here with cover 1, and we can go either way. Let's go to the right. Max protect. We can swing this guy out, doesn't really matter. Get around to the edge. We have somebody chasing us, but we're still able to get that score. Strong eye wing. Max protect. Bring that wing tight end on out route. This is against a cover 3 match, or just cover 3 essentially look right here. Snap that ball, escape the pocket, throw the tight end, get the touchdown. Gun bunch open tight end. This one's actually really, really tricky to do, but we can still try it here. We'll go wide trail. We have everybody come in every which way, but we should still be okay. On defense, what do we have here? We have a cover 2 blitz type of look. See if we can escape to the edge right here. Oh, we got acres of space. I think that was a matching thing maybe, but just able to get that in. And that's it. That's as simple as it gets, really. Any formation, just out routing one of those guys. It doesn't really have to be the outside guy or the next guy in. It can be really anybody. It's just a matter of finding a way to get outside of that pocket, which can be sometimes tricky with the contains of the spies. But by and large, it's if you can get out of that pocket, you will have that little 1 or 2 yards of a window at the boundary. And as long as your tight end doesn't dumb out, you should be in for an easy score. Okay, so that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.